Hij zegt ready to go live, zegt hij.
Live.
We should talk English now, by the way. It's such an easy mistake.
I had that today. I was with Bram in the devs meeting Discord, and we were like screen sharing, working on like a new card. And then from time to time, people would pop in, and we would switch to English, and then nobody would ever say something, and they would come out, and then we would like just switch back to Dutch.
Yeah, but we switched mid-sentence and mid-word. It's very difficult.
Nice. I'm going to share this YouTube URL somewhere. Are you live on Twitter? Did it work?
Well, I mean, it's Periscope. I have no idea how that works.
And me neither. Well, you have to try sometimes, right? I'm going to share.
No, there's a Periscope thing tweeted on our. People can watch this live. Like I see ourselves live now.
Really?
No, it worked. Yeah. I'm retweeting this. Well, it just automatically tweeted it for us on our account.
But it's not really Twitter then, right? It's Periscope.
No, it is Twitter. Twitter bought this company, Periscope. And so if you go to twitter.com, you see this tweet, you see what I'm saying now. You see my mouth moving and stuff.
Okay. I never, ever saw a live stream on.
No, I mean, nobody
Twitter.
does that. Like,
no.
Oh, look at that. Did you find the comments? Like you can click on comments on the top right. I think you can do it as well.
Oh, already 34. Whoa.
Oh, all kinds of people are talking. Hey, this is cool. Yeah, this is cool. Whoa.
Here.
Facebook, YouTube. Hey all. YouTube.
That's awesome.
Hello.
240 people. There's live. It's showing at the top right. That's cool.
Nice.
Oh, it's working.
Let's do this hip shot. Whoa.
Oh, man.
That's too big.
Like...
Let's. How you guys doing?
This is good. All right.
Good.
Now this is going to be our first release stream. If we like this, we might do it more often.
Well, if you like it, like you guys, like not if we, like.
Oh yeah.
Sure, it would be helpful if you would like it, like
That's
if we
true.
would do it.
Yeah, I got a question from Zach Barrett. What is the main platform that this is on? This is done on Streamyard, Zach.
Yeah.
It's just cool. I mean, we were looking at platforms for the conference, and we found this tool, and like, we can all just talk and like live change stuff around and stuff, and like highlight comments. So there you go.
Yeah, it's kind of nice. Nice to try
Really
for
nice.
once, right?
It is.
Are we good? Like, how's the quality, guys? Can you hear us good? And does it look good? Like I don't know. Hello from France, Estonia. A lot of countries here. Choo choo, homies. Hey, Andy. Excited for the new release? Well, in that case,
Yeah. Has it done building yet?
I think it is. Should be.
I don't know. I don't really keep track of those things.
Yeah, it is.
I have to wait for the nightly build, for my instance.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I don't have to, but
It's kind of a downgrade then, right?
Right. So I don't have my camera on a charger, so my webcam might just drop out at some point. But then I'll switch to my Logitech. Just go like from all this
same
beauty
quality
like...
that I have.
No, mine is worse than yours. I'm like 5 pixels.
It's I do feel the quality difference from you guys. It's I need a new camera.
You bought like the most expensive Logitech camera, and then you still have
the Brio, what is it?
Yeah.
Like you have the 4K Brio or something, right? What's the
4K Brio, yeah.
Brio, yeah.
Yeah, but I only see the pixels in the background here, so it should have HDR and I don't know, but still.
Yeah.
Well, Lydia says the quality is better than Google Meet, so that's a good thing.
I mean, I feel that's a very low bar. Isn't that right?
So Google, if you're watching, now you know. But you probably know it already, by the way.
In Google Meet, I often don't even see moving images from all people except for the one that speaks. I'm not sure if that's my internet connection or Google Meet.
Yeah.
Okay. No, Google was talking to me.
The mic's off.
Mic's off.
Streaming 101 mistake, huh?
So here's an interesting one.
How far?
How far are we from 1.0? Like, I don't know. Like, are we going up to 1,000? 0.1000?
Yeah, so that would be another 880 releases.
If you'd
More
say,
or less.
if you count really fast, then it's not that long.
Yeah, do a daily, all nightlies, new version number. And,
Oh, that would be
2
great.
years.
And in 2 years, we're at 1.0. Well, no, honestly, I don't know. May as well go straight to 2.0.
I mean, I thought about like just trying jumping, just React did that. They were at like 0.35 and it just went to 36. Boom.
Yeah.
React did that?
And now they're burning version numbers, right?
Well, yeah, because they do Samware, and then inside Facebook they just fix it whenever they break stuff, and so it's more easy to break stuff.
Right.
Anything new in this release?
Anything new in this release?
No.
What have you guys read like the release notes yet? Like not you guys, but like the viewers. Like, have you seen it? The release? I'm not sure, but the release is out and the blog post is there. Some really exciting things in there, I think. I think this release is like stuffed with like, it's not like there's like tons of big things, but well, yeah, there are a couple of big things, but there's so many small tweaks. Like, it makes like a great release because of all those little things, right? Like,
Definitely.
just opening the logbook and seeing like the error warning having a different color in the log messages, like that's it. It pops out when you open it. I think it's helpful, but it isn't a big thing, right? But it's stuffed with all these things.
Yeah, there are so many small little changes and improvements and fixes. It's great. What are you guys most excited about?
Paulus, you want to go first?
Oh, me. I don't know.
Oh,
No,
I don't know.
Oh well, I thought we asked the people, but no, I'm most excited about the quick bar. Not because I spend too much time inside the UI, but I love the idea of a quick bar, and I really love the things that it will unlock. Like, this is just the very bare minimum of the quick bar. We had like, let's do a quick bar. Let's do 2 different categories: entities, commands. Just do a handful of commands. I mean, entities is just more info, but there's just so much stuff we can do. Like, the moment we have, a system to overlay whatever you're doing and have a quick jump menu. Did my camera just die?
Yeah, we see webcam utility.
Yeah,
beta.
I'll change my very beta. I am going to change my camera. Boom. And then
You're muted, Frank.
Yeah, I know. I thought we did an actual release today, not a beta.
Yeah.
Well, for the short time it lasted, it looked like a great image, Paulus.
Yeah.
That was definitely 5 minutes or something. Yeah, I was just I'm still playing with DSLR. I need to get like a charger going and stuff. Anyway,
I think
I'm
I
excited
have,
for what the
like 3 cameras for Canons laying around. You want them?
No, because I'm traveling light. No, but I'm excited about the quick bar just because of all the things it will unlock. Not like right now, this is the very beginning. But for example, we were talking today in the Devs Frontend channel, the beta channel, like favorites, recent pages, recent automations. Like, there's so many stuff that we can just start putting on this overlay without just searching is one part of it.
Shall I add, like show the quick bar real quick here on stream? I think I can do that.
That's cool.
Do it.
Let's see if that works. Overview, Home Assistant. I think I can share my Home Assistant like this.
The quick bar is really a tool that you didn't know you need it until you used it, and then you can't live without.
Right.
I think I can resize it a bit so everybody can see it bigger. So if I now, this is my Home Assistant. If I press C, then I get a command palette. So if I press C on my keyboard, I can like search for the commands I want. Like, I don't know, I want to reload my selects, and then hit enter and it will do that. So that's one new addition. And the other addition is if you hit the E, then it will search for entities. So I could search for my Streamlight right here, which I'm looking, which you guys might see here. Then I can turn it on and off. So that's the quick bar. I really like, and if you have the entities open, I really like, you can just like, this is like Visual Studio Code. If you're a programmer, you probably know, right, Visual Studio Code. But if you put in like that little sign, and then it can just switch between the modes. Pretty excited about this one as well.
Yeah, we're gonna hook up the conversation integration as well. So you should be able to just type commands that you would normally be able to say to like Almond, and then it should be able to execute those commands as well. You could say like, turn on the lights in the living room. If you can type it really fast, boom, and then it would just work.
Show the partial matching. Yeah, that's kind of cool, by the way. Somebody said that. That's cool. So it can do partial matching. It can match on name. So you can search for like, if I search for printer, it will actually find my 3D printer. But I can also like filter, hey, get away, stupid thing. But if I like filter on light, that will actually work. But I can also type L and then the dot and then the rest of the name. And it will like ceiling. So now I get all the L dot ceiling kind of fuzzy matching. So it will pick up all the lights in this case that have ceiling in it after the dot. It's kind of amazing. Like you do not have to type out light dot, but just L dot or like S dot for the switch. But that will also match sensor, if that makes sense. I think that is pretty cool.
Things like MP for media player and SW for switch. And
is that true?
Just
sure. All right, that works as
MP
well.
Is, yeah,
that's really cool. MP. Oh, nice. Cool.
So yeah, this is the feature I'm definitely most excited about.
Tom Bryan asks if there's regular expression search in the quick bar. Like no. No. No.
We actually copied the algorithm of Visual Studio Code. So if you're used to that, it will work the same.
That would cool. That would be cool. I would love to see the Almond. I like Almond a lot for a lot of like language processing things. Like I have my Home Assistant hooked up to Telegram, so I can talk in natural language to my Home Assistant over the chat. I would love to see something like that in the quick bar, that I can just hit a key and type to my Home Assistant what I want. So I don't know, turn on living room lights, something like that.
Right.
If I could type that, like that would be cool.
We already have the dialogue. We just need to tie it to a shortcut key like the voice
like
dialogue. So
yeah.
That.
If people are here like don't know what Almond is this project by Stanford. They're building a privacy-focused open source voice assistant. So it will be able to. They pretty much they focus on the assistant part, so they don't really focus on the speech to text and not the text to speech, but only the part of processing the text. But they're really good at it. And they got good integration into Home Assistant. And if there's like programmers watching, they're hiring. Stanford is actually looking for a contractor for a position for a year. They got like a big grant from a foundation to work on this, and they also there are 2 grants. And so, if anyone is interested, we recently tweeted it, but otherwise just hit me up and I'll can connect you to Stanford. It's a great opportunity to work on specifically the integration, to extend the integration between Almond and Home Assistant.
Yeah. It would be cool if we had that like improved or something. Like I'm looking forward to the stuff they're like planning to do, right?
Always, aren't we? For anything.
Well, yeah, well, it is exciting times, right? Everybody is like innovating and doing nice stuff. I think that's cool about our project as well, by the way, just to see everybody like, I don't know, being creative and opening their PRs and their features in you, like Bram said already, like you never knew you needed them, right? So from time to time, something drops in or a PR gets open and you look at it, and a PR is a pull request, by the way, somebody that like wants to contribute some code to Home Assistant, in case you don't know. But sometimes you get one of those pull requests in with a feature in it and you're like, oh yeah. Never thought of that, but hell yeah, please, yes. And I think like the quick bar is probably one for many people. Like, you do not know you need it. When you install Home Assistant or upgrade, you will not notice it. You will maybe use it once or twice, and then over time you will start using it more and more, I'm pretty sure. And then later you will say, well, I needed that feature.
Right.
But that's
the only challenge there is to work on discoverability. So right now, how do you know you can press C or like E? Right? We need some like tips somewhere in the, I don't know, at the bottom of lists. We have to start adding like, did you know you can do this?
I'm starting to think about some Clippy or something. That's kind of like a dancing paper clip on my dashboard.
No, there's a JavaScript implementation of Microsoft Agent. So you can have Merlin from back in the days. I don't know if you guys played with that. With Visual Basic, you could like control this Merlin 3D looking character go all over your screen and like
we
Clippy.
also have a Clippy variant. So if Frank wants a Clippy, we can do that.
Well, I think I'm okay. I'm okay.
I think we should make a sketch from Paulus, and then make Paulus the assistant. Animate it.
Oh, I didn't mean to share instantly, so gotta get used to this part. But I have my Telegram open with my Home Assistant bot. So this is like something I would love to see in the front end, right? So I can say hi, tell me a joke.
Open the front end. We already have this.
Yes, we have. Well, it exists, but I really want to like do this like with a hotkey, right?
Yeah, okay.
And I want to do this everywhere, actually.
You just
but why are you showing it in Telegram?
To hide that button. No.
I don't know. Can I do that straight from? Yeah, I can, right?
Yeah, sure. There's just a voice button on the
You're
top
only
right.
supposed to use Telegram when you're away from home.
But the thing wants instantly access to my microphone, and then complains about not getting it if I do not like that's different. Or I need to use
when was the last time?
It originally was just voice, but we added text to it. But
yeah, but right now, and I'm happy I didn't do it on screen because it would show some URLs. But if I now click on like the microphone, it will just instantly say, "Do you want to give microphone access?" And then I didn't hear anything. But there's a typing thing in the middle as well, but that's not that apparent, right? I don't know.
Well, that's exact.
I don't know.
Exact doesn't have that much
the typing was added for browsers that don't support microphone and text to speech to text.
Right. I vote for Hassie for the Home Assistant Clippy's name.
I like that.
Good work, Charles. Clippy.js. Everybody is talking about Clippy, man. And it feels like ages ago.
It was ages ago.
It was ages ago. Okay, thank you.
It was like, Word 97 or something. 2000 maybe, no?
Oh man, I can't remember the time when installing
Word
Windows
97
95.
and 2000, I feel.
Yeah, 97, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So what else this release? Like we had a quick bar. I think the quick bar is like freaking awesome. I'm looking forward to it being extended, right?
Right.
So what else?
I mean, the other thing I'm excited about is the compact header. It's the... I mean, I think I'm mainly excited at Makar, but that's his nickname. The person who used to work on the. What was the other name of the thing he just archived? What was the project called?
Compact header.
Okay.
Or custom header.
Oh, custom header. That was
Custom
custom
header. I think that
No,
was
but
the old name.
Right,
custom
but-
compact
Custom
header
header.
is the old one. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm
custom
glad that
header
he
is
moved this effort from custom compact header to the core and just
Custom
like
header
help
to
it
home
improve.
assistant.
Yeah, and help like improve because there's so much more reach with core. Like if people don't have to go through HACS to install it, keep it up to date. If it breaks a release, people might not enable it again, and now it will just work.
I will quickly put it up on screen, like to show. Like you can now, like my mouse isn't here, right? No, it isn't. That's weird. Okay, but you can see in the top of the header now, right there it is. There's now, yeah, it's just smaller. The title is gone. It's similar to compact header, and that's it. That's now for every single view, right? This is just like how it is now. Yeah. I think that's great. I'm really excited to see him in core as well, by the way.
Yeah, no, this is a great improvement.
Yeah. Can I pop up a question?
Sure.
What question? Like, this was a real question. What do you see being the most common refactor people use to the new template types from their own automations?
Well, I mean, a lot of things is like we have had a lot of hacks in the past, just like because we always got strings in. All of a sudden, for colors, you were allowed to put in a comma-separated list, and we would parse it out, these kind of things. And so, but it meant that every time you had to, like, if you wanted to mutate the colors, you had to always parse it again to numbers, then mutate it, then write it back to a string, and do that every time. So it's just so much more cleaner especially if you're using the new variable blocks in your action syntax to, like, compute some stuff, do some actions, compute some more stuff, do some more actions. I think that's where it will really shine.
Yeah, I think especially with the variables that was introduced in 1.15 or 1.16. No, 1.15.
15, I think.
Yeah. So you can add the variables to like your automations and scripts, right? And those actually accept like templates too, and they even stack. So the first is being like processed, and then the second can use that processed variable already. And if the types like stick, like your list, and you can filter the list down or add something, I think that would be really powerful in the future. But the common most refactor, I personally think it would be either like constantly like the pipe sign and then int or float or like the conversion. That would be a common thing that would be less needed. And I think probably it's the coloring. I think it's colors. Like if you want to do an RGB color or something from a template, like previously you would have like, I don't know.
That was a pain.
That was a pain. And right now you can just like put out a list and set it or set. That's actually working too. So yeah, I think that would be mainly it.
Yeah, and vacuum cleaning your rooms is what Thomas says.
Right.
So,
I'm not sure how that would work, but
well, you gotta. I think like there's certain vacuums where you can like specify the areas to clean, and so it needs to be a list. And so now you can actually make it a list
in the service call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we didn't like put these hacks everywhere to like convert strings back to lists and stuff. Because we had, for example, this PR that we rejected, which was to use templates to specify entities to loop over in a repeat loop inside the script syntax. But that was using like, we're going to parse this string. Now that we have templates being able to output lists, we can actually revive this PR and just make it easily to say, okay, we have one part of action syntax that will generate like a list of 5 entities I want to operate on. for example, the rooms that are occupied, and then you'll have like, let's all tune down, like lower the brightness or something, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's cool.
Are the questions only related to this release? No. I would say no.
No.
Would be fun, but we're here.
I mean, it's a big release, but it's not that big.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think about the new Nest integration base in 1.17? I have no idea. I don't have a Nest.
I'm happy it's there, right? I'm happy that Nest is opening up an API again, so that people that missed the boat on like getting API access to the old API can at least access something again. However, not everything is in this new API. So first of all, you got to pay $5. Once you pay $5, you get full access to this API, but the API is not as comprehensive as the old API. I think the one I'm thinking what is missing. There was something that was pretty important that was missing. The away status. If people are home or not from Nest, you used to be able to use that in your automation. So, for example, if Nest detected people were gone, you could turn off the lights in your house. That's no longer possible because Google is focusing on privacy. And so anything that is about people, they're no longer telling us.
Yep.
So, but I mean, the Nest API, it's cloud-based. Of course, Nest is cloud-based. It's Google. But it is push. So it means that the moment something happens inside Nest, it will be immediately pushed to us. And I think the other benefit that the old API was this as well. So it's good that they were able to maintain this. And Nest used to. Now I lost my train of thought. There was something else that is pretty good, but anyway, I think the next release we're gonna have camera streams. That's gonna come. Security events. That's merged. So I don't know. It's something. Oh yeah, the old Nest API was limited in how many times you could call it. I think you could only call it like 5 or 6 times per minute or something, and so that was really
for a thermostat.
Yeah, but if our UI had like, a step function where you say increase 1, increase 1,
Right.
then you could do that 6 times and then you're done.
Debounce.
That's silly. Well, yeah, but we're not going to add like just debounces just for one.
We do debounce, but
yeah, but it's just silly.
Yeah. But did the old Nest integration also support camera streams? That's only for the new one.
No, I don't. That's only for the new one.
Yeah,
because the old Nest API was created by Google pre they buying Dropcam. So.
Okay.
And then I saw like. Oh, this one.
Right. So I looked into joining it, but it costs a lot of money. Like just to get to be part of that group that discusses the standard, you need to $4,000 or something a year because you need to join the Zigbee Alliance to be allowed to talk about this. So that's that I passed on that one. I mean, we're keeping a close eye on the repository. And we're definitely, I think that Apple is usually pretty good. Their HomeKit protocol is very good. It's just, guarded by stupid royalties and Apple licensing stuff. But the implementation itself is great. So if Apple can kind of make sure that, Apple wants to start using HomeKit, the HomeKit chip. So probably they will also make sure that it stays local. Oh, and for the people that are watching, what is this guy talking about? The Connected Home over IP project is a new standard because why not? But this time, from the get-go, there has been the companies that are involved are real big players. On one, the consumer electronics, so Apple and Google are obviously on board, and Amazon is on board. So that would also mean that Madame A would get support. But on the manufacturer side, there's also support. So Philips Hue is in, Xiaomi is in, Ikea is in, and so if all these players would move to this one standard, that would be really good. But yeah, I think right now today there's already some working code in the connected home over IP open source project that you can like use with the ESP32 and stuff. But we haven't had time yet to play with it. So, but it's coming.
Cool. I really hope the project, like I've said it before to you, I guess, like I hope it works and will like be a success. At the same time, I feel like just another standard kind of feeling. Even though many companies jump in, I don't know. I think we have so many standards and protocols that I'm like a bit skeptic or something. I don't know.
Well, yeah, and it's also, I mean, Zigbee had, they were actually going to announce like a successor of Zigbee where they split the radio level and the application level of the protocols. It was called like ... I think. And I don't think they even ever released it. Like they just moved on to the connected home over IP. So, well, we'll see.
Will it not go into connected home over IP partially?
So what the Amazon, Google, and Apple have said that they will contribute like their knowledge and like their protocols, like I don't know, patent free or whatever. Like it can be used as derived works without like any consequences or something. Don't quote me on that exact wording, but so that might help bootstrap the chip project. So I wouldn't be surprised if like those people also worked. Some of them worked on ... So ... would also kind of get mixed into it.
Yeah.
I mean, at the end, it's all Zigbee Alliance, right? Like the ... is Zigbee Alliance, chip is Zigbee Alliance, and then Zigbee is Zigbee Alliance.
The Zigbee is.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm really curious how they will work together. If old Zigbee devices and new chip devices will be able to work together or in some
No,
way.
I mean, if once you get them to work together, like backwards compatible with Zigbee, then you're pretty much just making a Zigbee clone, right? Or like it has to encapsulate everything of Zigbee, and so you cannot break. And so, I mean, what will be the best is like the chip. A lot of people are using like Thread is being used for it, and Thread uses the same radio frequency as Zigbee, so you could repurpose Zigbee chips or
the
something.
same radios.
So, yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Is IKEA just gonna say, "Hey, we're just gonna flash all our bulbs," or I don't know how that works.
As an update, right?
Yeah. I mean,
It would help if they can use the same hardware at least. Then you could flash them or something. I don't know.
No, because you would still need a hub that does both Zigbee and chip if you want to be backwards compatible.
Somebody will be joining, by the way.
Can bump the firmware.
Is somebody going to join the stream?
Yeah.
Who is
Nice.
it?
Yeah, just wait. By the way, somebody said, HACS when it's going to support like USB on boot on Raspberry Pi, it already does that. So.
Yeah. On any of our platforms, right? Not just Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, most. I think. Not sure. All? Oh, I like this one. I like this question. Donnie again. I like that question. What's your hidden gem?
I mean, who's going to answer it?
I don't know.
I'm thinking, but
my hidden gem.
I mean, from a technological perspective, I mean, just like for other developers, I think that something that's underutilized is that we have a WebSocket API that is what powers our front end, while our front end is always instantly up to date when anything happens. But like, there's not many projects out there that actually really use it besides like automations. Like AppDemon uses it and Node-RED.
Node-RED.
So, yeah, I know. I wish there were just more front ends for Home Assistant or something.
I think one of the hidden gems, which I actually do not use, but I think a lot of people should, including myself, would be the alert component. Like it's so easy to make like notifications that are dismissible and like trigger on specific moments and do not trigger multiple times. And I think the alert component in general is like underestimated. Like I do not hear much about it and I don't see it used much, but if you look at the specs, it's like very interesting. And I think actually like that would be possibly a gem that more people should use, maybe.
Right. I also think more people should use headers and footers in Lovelace cards. Like you can add beautiful photos to the top of every Lovelace card. Nobody does it.
Huh?
No.
We have somebody here. Shall I add him?
Yep. Yeah, let's add him.
Hey, Stefan.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
So, in case you guys haven't seen it, we're looking at Stefan. He's joining Abu Casa.
Yes.
So, welcome.
Yeah, next month, starting for real.
Right.
Well, that's close by.
Yeah.
That's really
So
close
Stefan is going to help out Pascal, working on everything operating system, everything, Linux, Raspberry Pis, all that stuff.
Kernels.
Kernels,
Exactly.
patches, diffs.
All the stuff we
Voltages
don't
on
understand.
chips and I don't know. I've seen so many terms come by, and like I am not like following half of what he said. No, really cool. Looking forward to it though.
Yeah.
So
Stefan,
do
you
you
wanna
guys?
introduce yourself?
Kernel diff.
Oh, Stefan, do you want to introduce yourself to the audience? There's 392 people watching.
Yeah, sure. No pressure.
How do you Right, these are kind of interesting questions that people want to know probably.
Sure. Yeah, I can introduce myself. So yeah, I'm a embedded Linux developer. Basically, I worked mostly on industrial type of boards before. So yeah, I know my ways around in the software stack on lower layers, like in U-boot, in kernel, and in the build systems which are typically used to build embedded systems. And yeah, I'm using Home Assistant since I think a bit more than a year, and followed the community and the development. And when I saw that the operating system is seeking for help, I immediately thought like that's something for me. And yeah, now here I am.
Super cool. So what do you do? Sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I'm very happy to have Stefan on board. It's like, when you look at the level of expertise that is necessary at this level of like, building an operating system, it's harder to come by in like open source people that contribute, because it takes more time. You need to dive deeper. You need to have specific hardware. You need to have specific tools, etc. So I'm really glad that like we were able to, connect with Stefan and like bring him on board. It's gonna be really cool.
Yeah, it's certainly the case. The whole embedded Linux community is not that big, right? There are only so many developers, but yeah, it's really cool to work on Home Assistant, enabling it, hopefully making it faster, better.
Those two. What are you doing in your free time, actually, Stefan? Like, if you're not like nerding on Home Assistant, or that's becoming your work, right? So what else do you do? Like other interests or?
Yeah, so I do a lot of hacking, all different things. I do a little bit of hardware hacking recently. So I designed a board, for instance, for like sensors. So this is a design I did recently. So I just like doing stuff like maker style, and also on the software stack. Like I played a bit with MicroPython, doing sensor nodes with MicroPython and all that. Yeah, and yeah, if not, I mean, I like listen to music. Well, no concerts now. That sucks. Going out for a hike and normal stuff.
Cool.
Nice.
So what do you think about the last release, the new release? Have you looked at it yet?
No, I actually was quite busy like wrapping up my previous job last week, and this week was Embedded Linux conference which I attended. So yeah, it was online, but still kind of consumed my attention. So I actually I'm still on 116. So
You know, I once presented at Embedded Linux Conf. It was in San Diego in the US, and they were joining us together with Open IoT. I think it was like 2016. And so then I gave a talk about the Home Assistant. Okay,
I think I was there. I used to live in the US for a while, and I was in San Diego at the Embedded Linux conference. So maybe I was actually there. I don't remember attending the talk though.
Small world.
It was funny because that was such a wrong place. Like Home Assistant, of course, was about IoT, but like everybody there is way more technical, and like we were too user focused.
So somebody else joined. This is going to be fun. We're going to up the stream. Can it handle 5?
I think we can handle 10.
Oh,
but haha.
Hey, Pascal. Hey, good evening,
Pascal.
I was in the TV and my phone. Who does the stream?
Well, there are quite a few people watching, so I don't know if you noticed, but like you can say hi now, and 400 people will wave back, Pascal.
400 people?
350, yeah. That's kind of nice, right? Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I must say, I really like the streaming platform. Like, I just went to Twitter, I just went to Facebook, and everywhere I just see our faces like live talking.
Yeah, that's kind of cool, right?
On Twitter.
You must like watching it yourself, though. Then.
Yeah.
Shall I drop in a question, by the way? Like,
yes,
we've been talking. Yeah. Are there any plans to fast track and support for more features from HACS into HA Core?
Well, so I have to say, HACS, of course, copied Home Assistant. Like we did this, of course, for add-ons in the beginning with the supervisor. Yeah. And HACS took this to the next level, right, with pretty much everything, custom integrations, themes, cards. And I think that the things I want to bring back into Home Assistant, themes for sure. I don't feel comfortable around custom integrations because we do a lot of code checking and quality checking when contributions come to Home Assistant, and we make sure that custom components don't break our event loop. And it still happens sometimes, even though we try to scrutinize every line of code. And with custom integrations, anyone can write some code, put it on GitHub, other people install it, and it goes outside of our control. So we're not forbidding it. Obviously, it's possible. HACS is there. But I don't want to make it something that is built into the platform and promoted to people. People have to go out looking for it and then click through the correct warnings to, make sure that they kind of know what they're doing.
I think it's it's a bit like cool, like HACS is around, right? Like we have the core, we try to protect the core. Like we want to make it like a smooth experience as much as possible, and it should work together. And there's a lot of control going on, while HACS allows for more exploratory, more beta more quicker updates and different separate role of updates that is not binding to the core release cycle. So on one hand, you have the more experimental and the things that we do not want in core, which are not allowed because we know that might cause issues, but still can be useful. So I don't know. I think it's like, I think both have pros and cons, right? It's just still, the custom integrations, there are some really beauties in there. And are they fast tracking to core? Well, that's dependent on the contributor, right? The one that creates it. It's his code or hers or whoever wrote it. he or
I mean,
she or they.
some custom components make it into core, but usually custom authors are also kind of annoyed because then we are scrutinizing their code, and then there's like, but this has worked forever. It's like, yeah, but this is not how it should work. So
Yep.
then again, to be fair, we have a huge backlog of contributions that we need to go through. So I think right now we're at like 270 contributions just to core, and this is not front end, this is not supervised or these kind of things. So obviously, I also like HACS as being something that is like a, it relieves the pressure from us, right? Like, oh, just go hack it with HACS and like distribute it and see what's going on, and then yeah, that's good.
So somebody asked when the 117 update will be available. It's available for all platforms now, no matter which installation type you have.
Woo!
Like the builds have been completed, so everybody should be able to upgrade now.
I can upgrade my dad's instance.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can. Everybody's asking where Ludius is. Ludius, where are you?
I do the
I'm pretty
update
sure
to
he's
the
He's watching.
He's probably just watching. Like, where are you?
Yeah.
You should all send him an email.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, this one is kind of like related maybe to the custom component. No, not really, but I think it's a good question. Sorry, it's a bit big. But it's like how open source development works, right? Maybe kind of question. So somebody asked if we could pay more attention to SolarEdge and Panasonic TV, since it's not being fixed for a while. So somebody has an issue. Jarek has probably an issue with them.
Yeah, I mean, there's just stuff that breaks, and we need developers because we need those devices, right? Like, I don't have a Panasonic TV, I don't have a SolarEdge, so, and I'm not gonna like buy another TV or buy another, things for my house just to like fix certain integrations. I do prioritize certain things, right? Like personally, I mean, I've been, helping out with Shelly, for example. And I remember when Ikea came out, we really quickly jumped on that. But
I think that's the challenge that we have as project. And I think, today it's not solved, but maybe in the future, because we have over 1,000 integration, and it's like with the add-ons, and people comes, bring integration in or add-ons, whatever, and they stay forever around. But we don't have the hardware, or we don't use the add-on. So if things breaks, we don't know about it, and if there is no maintainer anymore, that's a bit a problem.
I have to be honest here. I have the SolarEdge actually. I have SolarEdge solar panels. I have never used that integration. I didn't really know, but so that's a bit shameful with this question.
So we can expect a fix tomorrow.
No, I don't know. No, I've never tried that one, but like I have like my custom hack for my solar panels, which is like network sniffing. Like I sniff the network traffic and decrypt it with the key I intercepted in the first 24 hours the thing was connected. Like that's like really like not normal how there's no API here involved. So I'm not like using that because, well, I got my own creation there, which has way more data than the API offers. I know that. Maybe that changed. I don't know. Maybe I should try it once. I don't know. Do you have some resources for developers that want to help to contribute to HA?
Developers.homeassistant.io.
And definitely join Discord.
Right. But I mean, it is difficult, right? To like, it would be nice. I mean, we sometimes curate issues. We do it now, of course, this month for Hacktoberfest, which is this month celebration where if people make 4 contributions to open source, they can get a free T-shirt, or they can plant a tree in their name. And we actually curate a whole list of stuff that people can work on. And well, all the easy issues there have already been solved this month. I mean, we could do it more often, but it's also, I mean, we probably should, because we do realize that every time we put out this work could be done, people will come stop by and do the work. But then at the end of the day, it's sometimes also like we need to check all the contributions. We, you know, like I just said, we have a huge backlog, so we could make it easier for people to make more contributions. But then if it all stalls at us not having time to go through all those contributions, that's also not fair to the developers. So, yeah, I mean, probably we should at some point, but maybe I think we're gonna do a write-up of all the work that needs to be done once we are less busy. But I mean,
say what?
Sorry.
The thing is, we're getting more and more busy. What, you know, we were looking at statistics I saw from 2017. I just tweeted a picture where, you know, we were happy having like 500-600 PRs for all of Hacktoberfest, so all of October, and now that's almost like our weekly average. And it's like, okay, that means it's just 4 times as busy.
Yeah, roughly 4 times as many PRs compared to 2017. But I feel like it exploded a bit. Like, I don't know.
Because we review so much.
But yeah, Martin is do a lot of work for a review to take it down. He's also missing in the stream.
Yeah,
Probably doing reviews now.
Yeah, but just for some statistics, the last 4 weeks, we have merged 1,644 pull requests. So
That's insane.
That's a lot. Yeah,
that's insane. There's so many, and if you look at, I think I know I added like a little note to the release notes, like in the introduction. Like I collected some statics, and those statistics are just like the statistics from what is merged already. So that's not what is open, right? So we're looking at, till today, 500 PRs, like contributions merged on documentation, 700 contributions merged on the core repository, Home Assistant core, and 150 PRs merged on the front end. Like, counting that are like huge numbers, and that doesn't even include like the backlog we have still. It's just, I think it's amazing, but at the same time, I can like blindly click on that approve and deny button, or use change request button, review buttons, right?
yeah, but I mean, it's just also annoying because, because we wanna. I mean, I also have like, you know, a vision of where I want Home Assistant to go, but to build that also takes time and refinement, and to find time and balance between working with contributors, working on stuff that is important for Home Assistant, and then just all the chores. Like I don't think we talk enough about like how much time and effort goes just into organizing a release, for example, or organizing hotfix, or responding to these kind of inquiries or bug reports. Like, you know, I think Frank the whole day to just write the release notes, right? That happens now before the beta, and then the day before the release, you know, he goes through everything again and updates stuff and finds links and finds missing documentation. And I mean, that's just 2 full days gone. And then, I mean, the whole beta, we're constantly like, is this an issue that's coming in? Do we need to fix this, etc.? Like, it's a lot of work.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, the organization have over 80 repositories.
Oh yeah.
There's all side projects. They also need maintain. It's a lot of work. It's bigger as it looks like.
Yes, it is. And we already have like besides like what we're doing already, like everything that you see, right? Reviewing and organizing everything, and busy like helping people in the chat, like helping developers as well, right? And like preparing visions, and there's so many stuff going on. But then we have like, we're still like users as well. We're geeks as well, right? So at least I am full of ideas. I have like a big list of things I still want to do and probably will never get to. Like that's like really painful at times. Like I wish I could like just like ignore everything at times and just like go, but that's not reality as well, right?
We'll
We
need
have
to
to
do like
dig
a 3D print week where we're just focusing on 3D printing like stuff.
I'm a noob in 3D printing at this point. We all are, actually, right?
Right. Well, no, all of
Yeah.
you have recently bought or are waiting for your 3D printer to arrive.
Yeah.
All 4 of you.
No,
I haven't.
6 weeks.
No, 6 weeks. Yeah. Yeah.
Mine arrived.
There we have the Banshee, right? Yeah, there you go. Or
For the people that don't know, the Banshee is like a benchmarking boat to test your 3D printer.
yeah, it's the torture for a 3D printer to print. So you can test like if the settings are correct and stuff. But like a lot of us got a 3D printer recently, so that's kind of fun actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not hire B Draco already? Well, yeah, he has a big company, right?
Have we tried?
No, I haven't tried.
When will the new Z-Wave be out of beta?
That's a very good question. I mean, we're working on it. There's progress being made, and I think what is beta and what is not beta is we are relying on a new part of OpenZ-Wave, and that is still in beta, so it's not fully on us. And then, of course, on our side, we're also making it easier to install and use. So there's an add-on available. You can just one-click install OpenZ-Wave. But what I actually want to get to, or what we want to get to, is that the moment you set up OpenZ-Wave, just inside Home Assistant, inside the integration, or even if we detect a Z-Wave USB stick, it will automatically install the add-on, configure it for you, and it just all works like transparently. So that's something we're still working on. And maybe we have it in time for the conference on December, maybe not. Oh, and if this is the first time you're hearing about the Home Assistant conference, I think we could. Can we do like a scrolling banner at the bottom, maybe, Frank?
Why? To share a link?
No, just to announce it for people that don't know. Like December 13th. No, so on December 13th, we're gonna host a Home Assistant conference. Normally, we would host a State of the Union. We've been doing that in Amsterdam for the last 2 years. This year, it will be online, of course. We're actually, this is one of the platforms that we have been evaluating to host it. We haven't made a decision yet. We hope to have more information on how to join near the end of the month, which, I mean, this week, I guess. We're going to make some decisions, and maybe next week we'll make some more announcements. We have a call for speakers open right now. We've already got many submissions, but we're always looking for more. If you go to homeassistant.io, you can actually see a link also to go to the conference page. We're going to have 3 tracks because we realize that people use Home Assistant in different ways. So to create a generic conference might be too technical for some people at some points and too boring for some people at other points. So we're going to have 3 levels. We'll have users, which is the general audience. We're going to have advanced users. So this will be, cool stuff. Could be like AppDaemon, could be YAML, could be whatever comes to mind. And then we have developers. So developing for Home Assistant, developing with Home Assistant, doing cool stuff there. So yeah, if you have an interesting talk, definitely submit it, and maybe we'll pick you. That'll be great. We don't have the exact times. We don't have yet. It will probably be around the same time as we're having this stream right now, probably a little bit earlier. So we're aiming for 5-6 p.m. European time to start, which would be in the morning for California, Pacific time zone. And then, depending on how many talks we get that are like, of the quality that we want, or like the way the schedule is going to look and what other cool acts we can include, it will take 4 hours, maybe something like this.
Yeah, and it's on a Sunday, right? So even if it's in the morning for you, like if you're in the States, then like it's a Sunday. So that's the reason why we did like aim for a Sunday, because we can, like a lot of you right now probably are at work if you're watching, or at least probably home but still working, right? I hope.
Should be working.
Should be working instead of watching. You should be working or not, like depending on where you are. But yeah, I think that is cool. I wonder, is Frank also sleeping in his shirt? I got quite a few Home Assistant shirts actually, so that's kind of nice. And normally, like today, there are no matches, but normally, like Pascal and I often match. We have often the same shirt. It's kind of weird though.
You don't have the one Pascal is wearing now.
No, I have the rainbow one.
No. Yeah.
Look here.
There you go.
Ship it.
Let me see. Let me get the banner out. Here you go. Did we miss anything from the release, by the way, which we didn't talk about? Like we went from.
We didn't talk much about the release.
No, we didn't.
Right? I did see some requests from some people in the chat, but we can just ignore that. Like
talk about the release.
Wanting to talk about.
You want to pull someone in? We're already with 5, right?
Pull someone in?
So I'm really excited about the Xbox.
Yeah.
I think that is really cool. Like I
have 2 Xbox.
Really?
So I'm really happy to set up. Next month the new Xbox come out, so I have pre-ordered the S, so I can check if the new Xbox also works.
Right. You know what would be? It would be cool if you could actually show the video that Hunter made about the integration. Hunter is the one that built integration. If you could actually show this like on the screen.
Maybe we can. I think I can. Maybe, I don't know. Can I?
I mean, you could share, of course, a window that's playing it, but I don't know if that's like the audio probably will be missed. I don't know. It's just like the audio was fake anyway.
I think I can. Hold on. I'm going to try. But what would you do with the Xbox integration, Pascal? Like,
I want to control the Xbox, so I can start a Netflix application on the Xbox. That would be really nice. So if I start kids in the bed, they start the light in the living room and start the Xbox and with Netflix on it.
Right. I'm thinking, like, can you use it for notifications or something? Probably not, right? That's the joke.
I think the old one. No, let's get Hunter in. At least, I mean, I don't know. He's usually on Zoom calls during the day.
Well,
but I think
he's in the comments.
Yeah, we had a old Xbox integration, which is an API, a local API they have deprecated.
Oh, this works, right?
Oh, this will be the Xbox video.
I'm not sure if the audio's in.
No, it's not, but it was just like an auto tune, kind of like, not auto tune, just a standard theme.
And it supports the new media browser.
Yeah. Hunter is in the chat, by the way. We can send him the invite.
Yeah, no, I'm chatting to him. I think he can join. Yeah, as you can see, you can now open apps on your Xbox, and there's also controls to issue like remote commands like up, down, left, right. And I mean, media browser support is just really cool. I think more and more integrations are adding media browser, and it's just really cool to see how, all of a sudden you can control way more parts of a media player.
Yeah.
Actually, one of the cool applications I just saw, there's a custom component for the mural, which is this like picture frame with a 27-inch screen. And it's a custom component, and that author, Guy, had actually added media browser support.
Right.
what I really like on that new integration is that he uses our account linking service. So it's really easy to set up.
Oh, it's starting again, Frank.
Yep, but we have Jason now.
Hey there.
There. Wait,
Can everyone hear me?
Yeah, can we make Jason just bigger
Yeah.
or something like this? No.
Yeah,
Yeah. There you go.
You don't need to make me big.
yeah, we do.
Lighting's not all that great in here. I don't have professional lighting like Frank does. So,
Ladies and gentlemen, we have Jason in the house, and it's not professional. I just have a simple light, man. It's a key light.
yeah, that key light's expensive. You want to send me one?
They have little ones now, pretty nice ones actually.
Yeah, but they want you to buy two.
I've got the blue of my my background screen. Hold on, let me just open them. There we go. See, look, all you have to do is open a blank Chrome tab, and then you've got your lighting.
Yeah, it's true.
I like that. When I'm like switching to like some other tab to like do something during a meeting, everybody sees it because my lighting changes so much.
So
at least I don't use a mechanical keyboard to give it away.
But yeah, no, the Xbox integration should work with the new Xboxes, no problem. It's actually based off of the new Xbox app that they just released on Android and iOS. Actually, the pull request was merged 2 days before they officially released the iOS version of the app, and the Android app was in beta. So the new app was built specifically for the Xbox integration. Unfortunately, it is cloud-based, unlike the old one. That was actually my introduction to Home Assistant. When I first found out about Home Assistant, the very first thing that I built was the original Xbox integration. Unfortunately, that wasn't able to really be put into core just because of the complexity of the protocol. It wasn't entirely local protocol, but it was all UDP datagram communication between the Xbox and the server, or whatever machine you were wanting to control it with. And the library that was out there wasn't compatible. But this one's much easier to use. It's just basically sending an API call to Microsoft. And I'm sure that Microsoft has some sort of connection open in the backend with your Xbox. It's actually really quick. I think the Xbox probably opens a socket connection with Microsoft servers, so that as soon as Microsoft receives the command, they're just forwarding it directly to your console.
So on the old API, I remember once seeing a video that somebody was playing a computer game and then Home Assistant notified them, like the doorbell was ringing. Is that something that's possible with the new one?
So that was just because I use my Xbox, and this is actually one of the reasons why I'm not getting the new Xbox. I actually use my Xbox as my media center. I bought into the whole Xbox One when Microsoft was saying, hey, it's your one media center device. So really that's actually more of a function of my TV than it is of Xbox itself. I've got an Android TV, which has Chromecast built in, and using the built-in cast integration, you can use the cast media player.play media service in order to send the video stream to my TV. And then whenever you do the media player.turn off.
Oh.
You muted yourself.
That was great aligned. He said turn off, and then it turned off.
Yeah, it probably is just it was voice control. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it was voice control. I would like to have some like real that would be cool. Like real notifications on my TV. Like if you're watching TV and somebody rings the door at night, that it would just like pop up like the doorbell's going or something.
Like overlay.
Yeah, there's like a little project for Android that does that, but
So
no, I made all I redistributed the pictures, Frank.
you did that. Okay.
Yeah, because it didn't make sense to put Jason up in front if he's going to mute himself.
So on
he doesn't
on
want to talk to
WebOS,
us.
on WebOS, I have this notification, and it's quite useful. I mean, when you're like watching TV with the headset on and you do like your laundry or something, I just get a notification, laundry done, and you have to get up and
That's the notification I don't want, but I like the example.
I use my Sonos so if someone ring on the door, Sonos tell me on which door is someone, and restore the whatever was playing before.
All right, like a broadcast feature. I wish that the Google speakers did that better, though.
Right, we now have to kill the whole app, play our own app, and then we cannot restore it because often the apps that are running need like authentication and stuff. Yeah, Sonos actually has like a cool API for that, but it's not local. At least not local, open for non-partners. But they had like, it's called the chime API or something, where you just play like a music file that's being played, the existing music is paused or lower volume, you play something on top, and then you go back to your normal, what you were playing.
Yeah, that's cool. That's what we need for Google.
Hey!
Sorry, I had a little bit of trouble with my headset.
So we noticed. It was so perfectly timed. You said turn off, and then
there's nothing. Yeah, I don't even know where it stopped at this point.
So that was perfect. But I think you did a great job there, Jason. Looks really cool. Like, I do not have an Xbox, but it seems like what you normally see happen is there's a new feature coming, and it has like a new integration with some features, and then it expands. But this is like a drop-in, full-featured, like boom, there you have it, integration, which is
I had to get my Hacktoberfest PRs out there.
Oh,
so it actually was. It's a combination or a total of 8 pull requests in 4 with all of those features. And so I got to give a big shout out to Martin because he did a fantastic job just being very responsive with reviewing it and getting that out there. And I think, don't want to spoil one of the things that I'm thinking about presenting for wannabe developers at the conference, but I was thinking of breaking in our pull request template. We have, hey, break out your pull requests, only add 1 integration at a time, and that's just for ease of review, right? But I think it'd be interesting to have a session there as well on like how to do that efficiently, how to break something out. I think that could be a good kind of use case for that as well, of introducing small features at a time. But I got lucky that I had a breakthrough on the API right after 1.16 released, and so I basically had 3 weeks in order to put it together. So it seems like it all happened at once, but really it was a bunch of pull requests over the course of 3 weeks.
really cool. Really nice to see. I saw somebody here. What does it mean that the Home Assistant is now more usable on all the devices? I think that's a good question, though. I wrote it down because Bram delivered it to me, and I see this question. I was like, yeah, I've seen it. I pasted it into the release notes because Bram delivered it, and I was like, he's probably right. Like, it's the front end. That's more his department. Like, I don't know. What's up here?
We try to make our front end available on as many devices as possible, but we write our front end in very modern code that most older devices don't support. So we have some translation layer in between that translates it to older code that older devices do understand. But it has been broken for a while, I think. And in this release, we made sure it works again. So like iOS 9, iOS 10, those were not working. And older Amazon tablets and a bunch of stuff that was not working before that should work again now.
And when we say work, it's not pixel perfect to how the modern browsers show it, but it's pretty close. It's usable,
something.
yeah. And we haven't we need to have a better discussion about what devices are we going to support, because obviously it took Bram time, to fix this, and it's super annoying because we use browser stack, and then he can use an iPhone 5 virtually through the cloud somewhere that is running our website, and then get stack traces, and the developer tools are shitty. And do we need to support devices that are released 10 years ago? That's kind of the question, or 8 years ago. And I mean, for the UI, that is, right? Of course, if you want to control old stuff, that's fine. It's never in the way. But are people even using an iPhone 4? That's and should we put time and effort in there?
I don't know. Is the Xbox One supported, by the way, Jason? Because I just realized I probably have that one in the attic.
I mean, they do have the Edge browser that you can use, but and you can use the integration to automate opening the Edge browser and putting in your home system URL.
Oh no! I meant the original Xbox, like the old big case,
no,
where XBMC was launched on.
Xbox One and up.
Man, those were the days. But yeah, all devices are hard to support. So yeah, I totally get it. But
yeah,
iOS 9, that's iPhone 4. The new one looks like the iPhone 4, though.
That's true.
I think we support, what was it? From the second generation iPad.
Yes, one.
No?
Yeah, just got mine today. Looks like the iPhone 4.
Man, here I am with my phone. This is, by the way, for people that don't know, it is really cool. The moment you put it down on the table, it will actually hang up. And then you can, of course, just dial like this, obviously. You have a small book with the phone numbers of your family and friends. And then you talk like this.
And now tell what you did with
and
it.
it works with Home Assistant, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I bought it in the second-hand store. It's Ericofon. It's a Swedish design. No, I bought a small box that is a VoIP gateway. So the moment I pick up this phone, that VoIP gateway will automatically call my MacBook, which will automatically pick up and then play a 20-second sound bite from one of my son's favorite TV shows. That is as if they're on the phone in that TV show, and so they extracted that, so it's as if he's calling with Postman Pat. So.
Yeah. Question of the day: do it support 5G?
The idea is great, but it backfired because now he doesn't want to leave the office.
And indeed, Pascal said, does it support 5G? That's the question.
No, it's all wired. But even
you're not telling this to me. I'm hearing this for the second time now. The story of what it does. I cannot help smiling. What the hell were you thinking? I don't know. I think it's really cool, right? Because you can, but
it is because I can. But okay, so here's the thing. My next step, if I have time ever, but I want to actually use it to talk to Almond. Because why not?
That's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it
really
records
cool.
audio and it plays audio. So we could talk to voice assistants and stuff. So, I mean, I'm not sure if I will have the time to get it working, but I'm thinking about it.
For sure, after you have a 3D printer, you have no time for it. But before.
Are you going to buy one?
There are a lot of them in
to,
the second-hand store, right, Paulus?
Yeah, there were 5 more or 6 more of these, yeah.
Yeah, you might have to get one for me too.
Oh boy. I think I'm going to the one Jason has. That looks more appealing to me than the old one.
No, the old one is cool.
I have an old one, by the way. At least I think the iPhone 7 is pretty old, but still working.
Yeah. I had the 10 before this. It's 3 years old now, and wasn't even planning on upgrading. But then you guys have to release the tags feature, and it doesn't work unless you get it.
Right? I didn't know. Like I bought the tags and I had the tags and I could write the tag and I was like, that's cool. Now no, I can't. So I have like a stack of tags now to use with Home Assistant and no device for it. So yeah, that's kind of nice.
I was so annoyed. Like, there's no reason for Apple to block that. Like, it's just that they release new features on new phones and never, like, they don't really backport stuff. And I know it's annoying. Like, there's perfectly fine NFC chips in old Apple devices.
Guess
Yeah.
so.
I mean, now they even added the second NFC reader, right? Like, there's going to be one in the MagSafe thing you put on the back of the iPhone, and then there's one that you can pay with. So,
All right.
yeah. Oh, look, I just see in the comments that Ludi has just released an update to HACS.
So he is alive. Where is he?
He's not watching.
He's
Yes,
watching
I bet he is watching.
On
I'm
his
pretty
second-
darn sure.
on his
Oh,
second
his other
screen
monitor.
instead of the GitHub notifications.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Pretty darn sure.
that's true.
I'm thinking, did we miss something from the release?
Counters and timers are available in the UI.
I think those are the helpers are actually pretty helpful.
Oh, you know which one I like in this release that it hasn't been really highlighted? It's Tasmota. So
Oh yes.
Tasmota, which is of course open source firmware that runs on an ESP8266, and we supported Tasmota because Tasmota supported us. So what was happening?
Proof, by the way.
Okay. And that something was the release. No, but so Tasmota had support for Home Assistant MQTT discovery. So you could, you set up your ESP8266, you log into Tasmota, you configure it as you want. But then Tasmota would translate it into our MQTT discovery protocol. It goes through our MQTT entities into Home Assistant. And this had the problem that the MQTT integration had to be super complicated and got more and more stuff added to it. Instead of trying to cover all of Tasmota, and it just got out of control. So Eric, now who also maintains MQTT integration, decided to build a Tasmota integration, which obviously relies on MQTT, and it just natively integrates. And so we can do all the cool stuff that delete devices that are no longer there, and offer like better ways of device triggers and these kind of things. Translations on device triggers, for example. So yeah, no, that one is actually pretty exciting.
Do any of you use Tasmota? Like I don't, so that's probably.
I'm the ESP Home guy.
I have it on my what is it, living room lamp. I retrofitted basically an old lamp which was using this ancient protocol called DALI, and I wrote a driver for it, and unfortunately it got not upstreamed in Tasmota, but it works, and it sometimes works more reliable than my Zigbee stuff, which is surprising.
I
So
like
I think-
Wi-Fi.
What?
I mean, Zigbee really works really well, but I mean, I think there were like 2 cases where for some reason the Zigbee didn't work anymore and Wi-Fi was still fine.
So talk about ESP Home. This is the Andreas tag reader. That's the micro USB. This is the ESP Home device that I have in my house. It's really cool. It's all 3D printed. And so now, I mean, with the 1.16 release, it perfectly integrates with Home Assistant, which is amazing. I also have, I think I'll show this one. This is an early prototype that Andre and I designed.
For the tag reader.
Yeah. But this one, Andrea woke up one morning and it had like burn like marks here because it got too hot or something. And then we also realized that because you put the NFC chip on top and then the D1 Mini underneath, Ooh. The Wi-Fi signal got really shitty. So
I started printing it. I'm like halfway.
Still halfway.
Yeah, I still need to print the other half. But yeah.
Oh, mine looks good, but I've no content yet, so
I do have
That's
the
all.
content. I just don't have the case and have not assembled it.
You have the printer though.
I have
Yeah, I do.
everything, but no time to use it.
Nice. Somebody is. Do you guys use ZHH or decons? I see a question right here. Like we talked about Zigbee for a little moment. Like this is a question I see a lot. Like I get asked this question a lot.
Did you switch already?
No.
Well, Frank is gonna.
You talked about switching.
Yeah, I'm thinking about trying the third option, right?
Okay, you
because
did it.
even though I'm not like a fan of MQTT, I like there are three possible integrations, right? So ZHA or decons, or like a lot of people use Zigbee to MQTT as well. But I'm not like the MQTT fanboy. But I don't know. I have tried like ZHA now for a while and decon, so I'm thinking about like using that one as well. Like just get some real feeling to it. And I restart my home assistant a lot, like every day for upgrading the dev. Like I run dev in my production system. I think it's helpful if it keeps running. And decons does that too, by the way. So that's what I like about decons. I like ZHA because it's like so tightly integrated. I don't know. Like all of them have pros and cons, and I'm just like I'm having trouble to decide between ZHA and decons myself. So that's why I'm thinking about bringing in the third one. Like that could be like a total failure, total success, or give some new insights or something. I don't know.
are you using them in parallel, or you really migrate all your stuff?
Yes, I migrated everything. Like that's quite a lot of devices, though. Like that takes a couple of hours. But yeah, I migrated fully.
I have around.
So you really need to repair, right? I mean, you cannot
Yes.
kind of transfer.
Yes.
Transfer.
Yeah. Well, my son stopped doing it, but I had a little boy that really loved like the buttons on the wall and turning them on and off, and those Ikea lights reset after 6 times on and off. So I have like experience with pairing. So that's okay. But like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that would be like a thing to do. But I think the only way to really learn like the pros and cons is like running it for like a while with like everything on it. Like it's easy to set up one with one bulb, right? But then you start using it. I think that's a different story. So right now for me it's ZHA, by the way, to answer the question originally there. And I have run decons. I think Paul is you ran ZHA, I think.
Yeah, I'm on ZHA. But I just saw Draco found that the ZHA integration is doing I/O in the event loop. So yeah, so that's something. I think once that is fixed, I think a lot of people using ZHA will see some slightly faster systems.
Pascal
I use decons here because I like also from Z-Wave that the manager of the network run in a different process and not in the same process. So it's easy to restart without rebuild the network or lost anything on the network.
Yeah, I like that too.
I have 50 devices, so it's a lot of devices, and to build the network after restart of a container is much. And yeah, you lost sometimes connections, and if you can keep that running, so you have no issue with that.
Yeah.
I've decons, but I was thinking about switching to ZHA. I actually ordered this stick recently. What was it? Yeah, one of these.
The CC2531.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, I think it's actually the
You can
newer
actually
one.
use the decon stick, right?
Yeah. I
And
use
the
the
decom
decom
stick
stick.
has better antennas in it than the CC2531, and I think the driver is better too. So they just changed drivers for the CC2531, but I think it's still experimental for ZHA.
Oh yeah, exactly. I saw that, and I think that's when I hold off with the migration.
Jason, are you using like Zigbee?
I use Z-Wave. So I am one of the ones who's sitting here saying, hey, when is Open Z-Wave going to come out of beta? I did do the migration. It looks like there's a lot of work that's been doing it. It slowed down a little bit recently, but I think all of my devices are now covered. I was holding off until locks were introduced. But I think when I was doing research a couple of years ago here in the US, Z-Wave was much more prevalent than Zigbee was. And then Amazon decided to put Zigbee in their Echo, and I wish that I went the other way around because now Zigbee devices are a lot more prevalent than Z-Wave.
Well, I think.
But I've got almost all my switches on Z-Wave now, and moving over to Zigbee, I think I've run into issues with the mesh network. Right, I've got a great Z-Wave mesh at this point, so I get to pay the premium for that.
I originally went with Z-Wave as well, by the way. Like I started my journey on Z-Wave, and then I got annoyed by Z-Wave somehow, mainly because of the HA integration. Like the built-in one during restarts is pretty darn pain. And so I went with Zigbee, and I really liked it. So I wanted all the Zigbee stuff out of my house. It was all the Z-Wave stuff out of my house and replaced it with Zigbee. But now, like the Open Z-Wave beta is working so well that I'm slowly like putting back the stack of Z-Wave devices from my box of shame, like the box of stuff like you don't use, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping as that comes along, it'll be real good. I replaced almost every single switch in my house with a $30 Z-Wave switch, and so doing the same thing all over again with Z-Wave because I don't like the lights. I'm one of those people who I don't want to have to put tape over my light switch to make sure that someone doesn't mess up automation, right? So I want the built-in wall switches, and I don't really want the rocker switch. Like I don't like the behind the wall switches. Here in the US, like there's not enough space in the box for those things in the first place. And second, still using the standard switch, it's up is on, down is off, and I even hate the two-way, three-way, or the three-way, four-way switches where like they're out of sync. I'm just OCD, so I wanted an actual physical switch that went back to a center position, and I started on my journey. So
it's CDO, by the way. That's alphabetically correct.
What's alphabetically correct?
CDO, not OCD. It's CDO. You have to sort it by alphabet.
I don't know. For me, I think those two-way switches, I don't mind them. Like at the bottom of the stairs, you just hit it, and you know if you're able to push one of the sides, you're good to go. And then, but I agree that if you own a house, go for replacing the switches and not the lights, because having like the Philips Hue remote or another Zigbee remote taped next to your actual light switch, and then you can only use one of the light switches and not the others, and it's just silly.
I go
Just replace both.
I have replaced the light, and I replaced the switch with blind, or it's just I don't have any switches, wall switches.
Yeah, so you took the switches out, wire nutted them together, and
every room have a presence detections, so they know I'm in the room and the light is on, and if I go out of the room, so I turn the light off after I think set up 2 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So I have in the
I've got
whole
a 3-year-old, 7-year-old at home as well. That I think the motion sensors would be good, but.
Well, so these are not motion sensors; these are presence sensors. So HomeMedic they do some more stuff. Like there's some intelligence in it. I don't know exactly what's in it. But Pascal was telling me a few weeks ago that his kids, when they come to a house where they actually have light switches, because they've never seen those, because they're not used to them, they just love playing with them, like on off, on off, on off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes funny from also if you are by friends. So I asked him what I do with the switch.
I try to use motion as much as possible, mainly for the kids. Like there are many rooms where they just keep the lights on. Like I find it really nice to be able to turn them off, right? But I do prefer actually replacing the bulbs. Even though I own the house and I could like replace the switches in the wall, I prefer the bulbs mainly because I can change the color. I like to change the color to like the daytime, and at night to be them more like warm and soft and not that bright if you get out of bed at night or something. I really like that part more. Those are the...
Yeah, that's why I replace both the switches and the light bulbs, so I can have best of both worlds.
Right. Let's read some really heavy automations, right? Like you have to control either the power and then wait for it to be online in order to...
No. I don't control the power.
Oh, okay.
The switches don't control power. They only send a signal to Home Assistant, and Home Assistant controls the light directly.
Right.
So the switches are not connected to the circuit of the light. It's
They're connected to Home
remote.
Assistant.
It's just a remote control,
Right.
but tied to the light switch.
That reminds me.
So you get the benefit of color changing and dimming and control through Home Assistant, and you have physical control.
That reminds me, I was talking to some of the Danish Home Assistant users here in Denmark, and they were telling me that they built like a switch that like is in the shape of Denmark, because Denmark has its own kind of switches, and then they harvest a Zigbee chip out of the Ikea remote or something, and they put it in there, and then they have like the perfect Zigbee chips. And then apparently you could also get like the Zigbee chip out of the light bulbs, because those are the cheapest, and then just flash like the remote firmware on it, and they could also be put in their like light switches.
Yeah, I basically did that for Switzerland too. I mean, in Switzerland we have these special switches as well, and it's basically one company makes them, and so they all look alike, right? I just took a generic one from them and wired it up with a IKEA switch, but I actually don't use it to switch lamps on and on. I use it to enable scenes. So I just have 4 buttons for like the living room, kitchen area, where it just can say I'm cooking. So it's more like that the kitchen area, or we are eating, and it's working really nice.
I've seen people hacking those like a Xiaomi door sensor switches. I think they are to put behind switches as well, like getting the cap off.
Use the push buttons. You can open them and use those.
Right. It's also a nice, cheap way.
These ones, I guess.
Yeah,
with the magnetic.
Yeah.
With these, just the push buttons, they also work to hack.
By my parents, I used Shirley behind the door for give the signal to Home Assist and speak or the Sonos.
Nice.
All right. Do I still have some nice questions here left? I saw something. What a nice question, which I thought would really like change the pace a bit. What is the year? I found it. Donnie again. Donnie is good at asking questions.
Donnie is good.
Donnie is good, right? What feature have you been in your one of these days backlog for the longest amount of time?
Well, who's going to answer this?
Jason?
I don't know. There's so many. I honestly don't know. I'm the type of person who sometimes just gets bugs and then I'll work on something that's on Lucky Joe. So that's one of the benefits of not being a full-time employee of Magic Castle and needing to work on things, is I get to make the decision of, hey, here's this really cool feature that I want to have. I can ignore everything else and just work on it. So
True.
I know, I should look at our old pivotal board.
Oh man. Pascal?
Yeah. That one is the HACS integration. I want to migrate that to the config flow and use device and all the new features, because that was my first integration. And yeah, I start with the HACS integration to Home Assistant, but I was never able to make any updates on that or supporting the new features. So that's, yeah.
Well, that's how you got into Home Assistant, right? Homematic.
Yeah, and I use it every day. And it's remember me every day. I need work on that.
I opened the
For me, it's
pivotal.
probably,
Oh, sorry. Yes, go for it, Bram.
for me, it's probably the area card or area fuse, something with areas that we want to give more attention to. I want to do that for quite some time now, but it will probably happen soon-ish.
Okay, so I opened our old pivotal tracker that hasn't been like touched in a long time. So the first item I see, we actually just implemented, like Hunter helped with that. Cast camera stream to Chromecast in Home Assistant. So
Right. That's cool.
that's good. Now, one of the things that actually is on here, which has been on my backlog for a long time, and I even included in like the configuration mockups that we've been like, that's like sharing it around, and that is to add a guest mode. So you should be able to just say, I have guests, and then boom, you should be able to, certain automations should just stop. Like you shouldn't have to hack it with like a person or input boolean and a tracker and all that stuff. Like, in fact, I can like, let me see if I can get it showing on the slide. Boom, boom, boom. Actually, I think a lot of people haven't seen this this configuration mockup, so it'd be good to. I'm just gonna share.
Oh, that is cool. That's cool to bring up. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, hi Donnie. There you go. Yeah. Cool. Share my screen.
I'm going to drop in real quick to say, for me, it would be like I had a lot of ideas for automations in general, but that I've been working on lately, so I'm actually pretty happy.
Okay, is it
this
showing?
is cool. Yes.
This is showing. Cool. So this is a mock-up. I made this very long ago, earlier this year. Somewhere this year, I think we started on it, and it has been kind of the thing we use to kind of decide on what to work on next. It's not everything we show here is things that we're going to build, but this is kind of like, this has been our brainstorm. And this is like what me and Bram are kind of like toying with and doing stuff. And oh yeah, Zach built it. So actually every page is different, right? But like actually a bunch of these pages have been implemented, but Zach has one of his many PRs is actually to have built this UI as well. A few things that just to like show, just for FYI, the yellow box in the bottom is kind of like notes. It's not supposed to be in there. The idea was to have updates be kind of available to have like, oh, there's updates. It should be more front and center. At least if they're important updates. For integrations, also, if there's something discovered, get people to go there. We show some of the integrations that you have loaded, not all of them. I don't know if that's super useful, but this is something that we definitely played with. And the idea was mainly that the different pages and categories in Home Assistant kind of have a teaser on this page, right? So you see a few integrations that you set up. You see a few automations that you set up, a few scenes, a few scripts. And it will be, the goal would be to try to show relevant stuff, right? So what are the automations you most likely are working on? So maybe you can like quickly click to it or something like this. Another thing that came out of this work is that we're trying to integrate more of the supervisor actually into the configuration panel. It's kind of silly, like from a technical point, it's very clear why the supervisor is its own panel and its own thing, but it will be way more, it makes more sense if you go to configuration, that's where it is. And so actually what's cool is that everything you can see here is clickable. And so the thing that we were actually talking about was guest mode, right? So this is just like random ass mockups, right? This UI is not going to be like the UI or whatever. But the idea is that you would have like, you know, this is already, you see the menus that Bram implemented earlier this year where you have groups of pages, right? So this would be people and zones. I must say that when I'm looking at it now, I think people and zones don't really fit together, but they kind of do maybe. But the idea would be that you have the persons in your house, and you have a guest in the house, and it would just be a toggle. And you could just have certain automations automatically be disabled. So just be a new condition in your automations, like do not run if guests are in the house. So for example, if you have automations that turn off all the lights when we go to bed because you detect that we're in our bed, or when people leave the house, you can disable those because with guests in the house, they are not being tracked. Another thing that this change is, instead of like to add new stuff would all be like the floating action button would actually contain text and be blue, so that it's pretty clear on every page, like this is the main action. The battery stats, of course, are pulled from the phones, the Home Assistant companion app that's reporting the location. Yeah, if you go to the integrations page, actually a lot of this has been built, right? Like we group multiple ESP homes. We have the cards. A few things we haven't built is the attention required, or the active
Attention
alert.
required is built.
Has been built.
Well, there you go.
Attention
Sorry.
required is built.
So attention required is there. The active alert. So this will be integrating with alerts.homeassistant.io. We have not built yet. The other thing is you see this small cloud thing at Spotify, at the top right of the Spotify card. This would indicate that Spotify is a cloud-based integration. We also haven't built this. We have this data actually available, and I think one of the things that we as Home Assistants should do better is to educate our users to which integrations are cloud and which integrations are not cloud, to see, you know, we want to nudge them to use more local integrations and less cloud, because a lot of the cloud integrations will either start charging you in the future all of a sudden, or like they tend to disappoint. Let's see.
I think the alert feature is really cool to add in, because one of the things that I know, sorry, hold on. One of the things that I know that I tend to do a lot is I look through the integrations. We've got over 1,000 of them. And so I try to add one, but then it hasn't been updated in 4 years. And so it doesn't quite work right. But it's hard for us to kind of weed those things out. And so I think if like, not only like, hey, there's an alert for this, but the ability to report inside of Home Assistant that an integration is not working correctly and automatically create alerts for those things would be a really neat feature to have, and would reduce the amount of issues that we get.
Yeah, that is a good point. I think the problem is that some APIs are very stable, right? Like, I don't know, Extend hasn't changed ever. It's just a lot of, the most breaking changes tend to happen in cloud-based integrations, because there they are like, oh, we control the apps, we control the devices, and we control the cloud. We can just like rolling update all these APIs. But if something is in your home, like the Philips Hue API has not changed since launch. It has been extended, but the basic API stuff is still there. But yeah, to kind of phase stuff out, I think it will be good to kind of like do a cleanup, because some things get added, and if there's no users for them either, and we don't hear from those users, then I don't know. They just stay there.
The problem is we don't know.
Right.
At this point. But yeah.
So one other thing that's like that we also see on this dashboard is that certain integrations will have their own panel and they are all moved onto this page. And this is something we've already implemented. So Zigbee settings is like here. And then you go into the Zigbee panel. That will be one of the ways it's, you know that you're doing like, this is how you get to Zigbee. Like you go through integrations and then you go to Zigbee, you go to Z-Wave, Tasmota, MQTT, whatever the panel you want to like go to. You can also click, like you see service and you see devices. That's also already something that we have implemented. Of course, on the device and service page, you can go to these, you see the list. Like I said, a lot of this stuff has already been implemented. Some stuff we're not really happy with. We're still tweaking. And so this is like an ongoing like, yeah, work. I mean, the work is never done, of course. Let's see what else. I mean, the automation stuff. This of course is now all data tables. This mockup has been made from before we had data tables, and then I was too lazy to update all the mockups. But it's all the stuff with helpers and all the stuff we've been building for the last year. It's pretty much all in this mockup.
Pretty logos. That's
and
here.
pretty logos that also came from here. Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely.
So I think I remembered one of the things that was on my backlog of I'll get to it eventually. There's actually been a lot of work done, but less focus on it recently. This is when I was adding TensorFlow and object detection initially with the HACS system. After adding that, one of the things that I started working on was more of a like data science portal, and Frank helped get a Jupyter add-on notebook, and Robin Cole helped add kind of a little helper library in order to be able to see your Home Assistant data. We actually even have a data science portal that Paulus launched on Home Assistant. But one of the things that I started to look into as I kind of got hooked on that was we've got a lot of information about our house, and we ever since we added the context to the data and the events, we know if a user triggered an action and what other actions were triggered off of those actions. So I thought it would be really interesting to have an automation recommendation engine built in place inside of Home Assistant that could utilize that data to say, hey, you do this thing very frequently and it's not automated yet. Maybe you should automate that. And that's one of the things that I started working on over a year ago, but didn't really get too much traction. So that's one of the things that's kind of on my
We've actually, I mean, there has been some work recently on it with regards to the logbook is now showing who pressed the button. So you kind of know what's going on there. But this whole thing with context, like we created this with Jupyter. You know, Frank took him a lot of pain and effort to get this add-on launched, and the goal was to really get people like we wanted to make it easy for data scientists or people with data science aspirations to start running stuff on their home. And I think we haven't succeeded in this, which is too bad. I think we don't promote the data science portal enough. I mean, if a data scientist is watching right now, they might be like, oh, I'm going to check this out. But generally, people don't really know it exists. And I think it's too bad because we have so much valuable data. And I think it would be really cool if people could share algorithms. And then, like, you know, an automation recommendation is one thing. I mean, there's just so many stuff we can do.
I'm waiting for the day that my system, like Home Assistant, I open and it tells me like, hey, I noticed like every time you come home through that door that you will turn on that light. Shall I automate this for you? And then just a simple yes or no question. That would be like amazing. Like maybe even like I think I'm too scary for like just doing it, but just like that suggestion, right? That would be for me like.
The suggestion is what I was going to work on. And back in the day, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just create persistent notifications if you enable the suggestions. And and the persistent notifications would be there. But like now that we've got automations in the UI, because I was doing this before we had the automation UI as well. Like, could we just go ahead and create the automation but have it disabled? And then have a section in the UI that shows like, hey, here are all the automations that I think you should enable. And you can go in and you can tweak them and then enable it, and it'd be ready to go.
I mean, I think we should actually do that. Like, I mean, I talked about this in the last year's State of the Union. Is we should actually just include some built-in automations that can be enabled with a checkbox. Like, turn on the lights in the evening when we're home. Right? It should be such a like. We know if you have device trackers set up. We know if you have lights. Like, we know that you live somewhere where the sun is. So we can, that's it. Should just be a toggle. But,
and talking about data, I would also love to have a dashboard that would adapt to the time of the day and if you're home or away, and would show different entities and different devices based on what you use during that time of day. Like, that's data that's already in the data portal, so some of the examples, but I think we should really implement it in Home Assistant itself and use it in the UI to make more relevant dashboards for users.
John Volta says the data science project is broken, so maybe if we're talking about this now,
we should fix it. I think there are many.
I don't think the data science project is broken. I think the symlink in Jupyter is broken. So you have to, when you open Jupyter notebooks, I actually just tried to open it on my dad's instance, but it doesn't support ingress. So I cannot show you right now. But if you go into the Home Assistant folder, then there's the Getting Started notebook. That one should still run. I think I ran it like this summer.
The thing that I would like to see more in Home Assistant, and that combines a bit with this as well, like that's not just automation behavior, but things like we have a lot of power sensors, like energy usage, and like the usage of your, like, I don't know, your heating in your home, is that efficient with the outside temperature, right? Like, balance those out and calculate if that is, I don't know, like suggestions on being more green. Like, is that like, it's not, I'm honestly, it's not about being more green. It's like saving the money in your wallet for me, but like the effect is the same, right? Just like recommendations on that front, like it's a hot topic. And I think that it's important to be good for the environment on that as well. And it saves money at the same time. I think that would be helpful as well. Right now, I have a lot of automations that save me, like heating. If a window opens in some room, it will like turn on the radiator or the heating in that room because it makes sense.
No, but I think, I mean, the common theme across this is that we should, like, Home Assistant is very informational. We are very great in gathering information, and we're very great in providing control, but we then have these very basic building blocks, and then we just give that to the user, like, good luck, right? And we should take it one step further, where we like, we can provide intelligent algorithms to suggest stuff, like for example, give a notification when the heater is on, when the window's open. Like, if we just detect it, there's like whatever going on.
So like templates.
But we could, right? If you know if like a temperature sensor is in an area and you know the outside temperature and you can detect there's a window open in that same area, then you could go like, hey, this is probably not okay, right? That could be like, that's like, even without data science, that's just basic rules, right? And we can make automations for it, but you have to create them yourself. I don't know. Yeah.
But I mean, I think even like to take it even one step simpler, it's like, we don't even warn you when your batteries are low. Right, just like, you know.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So now that I've got that bombshell and diverted this discussion to, wouldn't it be cool if I've got to run and go get some dinner. So it was great speaking with everyone. Thanks again for inviting me on last minute.
It's okay, mate. Thank you.
All right,
Thank you for being here. Have a good day.
You. Bye.
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 Would it be cool if? Yeah, there's so many of those.
True.
Doesn't, but yeah. What defines 1.0? 1.0 is keeping coming back as a subject. It's like always.
Yeah, there was a comment that we should first get to 1.0 before we would implement all the ideas we just had.
Well, maybe one day soon. I don't know.
Let's see. Is there anything from the release we still have to discuss? I mean, that was the goal of the stream.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot on it. Like,
well, maybe we should do like a step back. Like, are these streams a success? Like, do we enjoy talking about Home Assistant? Do we like want to do this more often? Is this like, do people find it useful? I mean, let us know in the comments if this is like.
Oh, right.
I mean, we have like 300 people watching, so I think we're somewhat interesting, I guess. But but if we're doing this if we would do this more often, like we cannot keep talking about G-Wave and chip and like, you know. I mean, we can obviously come up with new content with the latest 3D printed stuff, but the latest phone gadgets. Yeah, the new Banshee.
New Banshee. Yeah.
New Banshee and new color every week.
Yeah.
This week's color is white. Just keep them shorter, under an hour. Well, you can just hop in and out. I think that, like, this was unannounced.
We're already streaming 2 hours. Whoa.
We are, yeah.
Oh,
no, but
really?
I think maybe we should do more like you have like a host or two, and then you have more people that kind of hop in, talk about some stuff, and then hop out.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, I see Zach is super active in the chat, and like obviously he has built a lot of stuff also in this release. Or I said Thomas around.
It would be cool if people that contributed to the release would tell about what they did and why and how it works. And yeah.
Right. But then we should not make it a forced thing that people feel that they don't want to contribute because they don't want to be on the stream.
No.
You have to check a checkbox when you do a PR. I agree to appear on the stream.
For a faster review.
Oh, Zach says he has 0 in this release.
You didn't do anything?
No, that's not true. He did. He did the weather icons. The secondary info in the weather card used to be text. That's now an icon. And he did search for entity ID in entity name instead of entity ID in the entity picker.
You're in the release notes. He's in the release notes. So.
Maybe some other small things. Not sure.
Nope.
And a lot of reviews. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing with reviews. There's like you don't end up in the release notes, right? Even though it's like super important. I think we sometimes call out people where like they're doing cool stuff with reviews, but it also I find it sometimes. I mean, it's a lot of the same people, and we're gonna just keep calling them out for doing great reviews. That's also kind of weird. I don't know.
Absolutely. What's the goal of HA? Is it going to be sold in the future?
It's open source. Like how?
How? Yeah. Banshee down. Yes, Banshee is down. No, that's it. I think that like the most thing that is said right now is be like shorter or more predictable. I think we can, if we do this more often, we can just like set a time, like and set like I don't know, like preset it, and then you know when it like we're hitting this, right? But the question is, should we?
I mean, I like it. I think it's nice to not only talk about because when you do a Home Assistant release, we drop like all these features, right? Like 3 weeks of work, And there's a story behind features. There's people behind features, and I think a stream like this really helps, like, to make that visible and like to help connect. Like, a lot of people, well, not a lot, but there are people that sometimes say that, like, who are these developers, or they don't know, or they just like they don't care about the community, and like, no, there's like thought behind the decisions we make, or the plans that we have, or like, sharing more of these kind of things. And I think this is a good platform for that.
I think so too. But I agree.
And I like live, because I hate like recording a video and then having to watch it like 20 times to make sure that the cuts are right and all that stuff. And like, that's not for me, and that's not something like, no.
It has its charm, right? The Banshee fails and Jason pops in and like, and he's turning his headset off by magic and all those kinds of stuff. I think that's fun. I think that just adds a bit. Like, that's what I like about live streaming. Like, general, go with the flow and let's see what happens.
Yeah, also the Q&A is kind of only possible that way, right? And I think that's actually really, really a good idea. It's direct, this direct feedback.
Yep.
And start a bit early.
Yeah, we
Don't
probably
take
should.
until midnight.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was great now, because like I put the kids in bed and then like I could hop on the stream.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Or just do it during the day, during work time.
Yeah, but if it's
start at 8 in the evening.
In America, has to sleep.
Yeah. But of course, if we want to get a broader audience, it's good to have it like, at least for some people in the evening.
Well, we could try a different time slot. Like, we will probably make it available for some other people, right? Like, the world is bigger than just like the USA and Europe. That's for sure.
Right.
Adonis says he's flashing devices like crazy. I'm not sure how his face look. For you guys, if you don't know, Adonis makes those like Home Assistant tag readers, like those that Paul's has there, and he has to create a couple. He's creating a couple. A couple.
His own sweatshop. Yeah.
I don't know, when is mine done?
Yeah.
I don't want to print it.
I started printing. I'm halfway, but it would be easier if it. No, he's doing fantastic. I think that's a hell of a job he's doing. So, thumbs up there. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah. One last question then: will the live streams be watchable after they're over for those that can't watch them live? I think so. We stream it to YouTube, to Twitter, and we're streaming it to Facebook. And
It's possible to record. I'm not sure if you press the button.
I think it's also being recorded inside this application that we're using. But I think also YouTube also allows to watch it back. I think, but I don't know. It's not such a consistent story here, so I don't know. If
I think it's safe to say no, but maybe if you're lucky.
And for sure, on
The next
time.
one will be.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll learn. The next time he ask again, and then we can answer.
Yeah.
We really don't know. It's literally how this like all went. Is like this. Like we talked about it. Shall we do it sometime? Yeah, let's do it sometime. And like yesterday, maybe we can do it tomorrow. Yeah, maybe we can do it tomorrow. And this afternoon, like, are we going to stream tonight? I don't know. And like an hour before, like we actually hit start, we actually created the account. So that's like how it went.
Yeah. That's good. I like this software, by the way. Look, I know people don't see the tools we have, but like, we can make it bigger. Wait, where's the one where you get like all the small faces?
We are with too many people. You have to kick some.
Oh.
I like the square ones. Yeah, this one. This one is nice.
This one.
Yeah, but this is normally, if you're with 3, you're the 3 next to each other, right? Or 4, and maybe that even works. Let me try. Hold on.
Yep.
Right. Yeah, but now you cannot see our beautiful blue.
I think I can even swap. Yeah, that's kind of cool. I think it's a nice piece of software, though.
Yeah,
Definitely.
this is
That was the question,
StreamYard.
what it is. Yeah.
It's called StreamYard.
Yep.
So, yeah.
Enjoyed it. Well, let's wrap it up,
Cool.
I would say.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
Yep.
Thanks everybody for watching, and we hope that you are enjoying the new Home Assistant 0.117 release. It should be available for your Home Assistant installation if you run Home Assistant operating system or Home Assistant supervised, or Home Assistant Docker or Home Assistant Core. What's the last name? I don't know.
Core OS
Container.
container.
Containers. Oh yeah, too many names. Anyway, we hope you guys enjoy and girls and other genders enjoy the release.
Bye bye.
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 Bye bye, guys.
Bye.